Princeton, New Jersey, April 1955. Albert Einstein's office, just as the Nobel Prize-winning physicist left it, taken mere hours after Einstein died. Tasmania, 1933. The last known live Tasmanian tiger ever photographed, the last of its kind. 1967. Mechanism used to cryo-freeze James Bedford, born in 1893, the first cryo-preserved human being in history, with the intention of reviving him sometime in the future. Late 19th century. An anti-masturbation device. It was a widely held belief that masturbation caused insanity. Devices like this were designed to prevent the wearer from stimulating himself, often used in mental institutions and sometimes in the home. 1944. U.S. intelligence images showing how Hitler could have disguised himself if he attempted to flee Germany. Versailles, France, June 17, 1939. The last public execution by guillotine. Still watching? Subscribe. You'll want to see what's next. Enfield, London, 1967. The world's first automated teller machine. Introduced and installed at a Barclays Bank branch. Instead of using cards, it relied on paper vouchers. Ingersoll Factory, January 1932. Women painting alarm clock faces with radium. Workers would often lick the paintbrush to achieve a finer point, directly ingesting the radium. Almost all of them died from radiation. Hiroshima, Japan, 1949. A child atomic bomb survivor. Chernobyl. Real-life liquidators who drained the pool of water under the failed nuclear reactor core, preventing a possible catastrophic steam explosion. North Atlantic Ocean. Survivors from the Titanic approach the RMS Carpathia. The largest ship afloat at the time had sunk. 1861. The first color photo ever taken. The photographer likely chose this ribbon as the subject because it had a multicolored plaid pattern, helpful in testing the camera's abilities and color accuracy. Washington, D.C., November 11, 1921. A massive traffic jam occurred when 3,000 vehicles gridlocked, en route to the dedication of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier at Arlington National Cemetery, triggered when a small car ran out of gas on the highway bridge. If this is hitting different, drop a like. It helps more than you think. Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, December 17, 1903. Two brothers from Dayton, Ohio, named Wilbur and Orville Wright, were successful in flying an airplane they built. Their powered aircraft flew for 12 seconds above the sand dunes. 1963. West meets East. Two German brothers separated by the Berlin Wall meet again during the Border Pass Agreement. 1924. A human chess match being played. She had just arrived, didn't speak German. A female guard struck her across the face with a stick for not understanding. The photographer, himself a prisoner, later said, "I felt as if I were being hit myself." She was dead 3 months after this photo was taken. Auschwitz SS guards relaxing at Solothurn Retreat, 1944, laughing, eating blueberries. Same week, 10,000 people per day were killed 1 mile away. At first glance, a loving father with his daughter and wife, 1936. His name was Heinrich Himmler. He ordered the death of 6 million people. Keep watching, this gets even more unexpected. His name was August Landmesser, the only man in this photograph not raising his arm, expelled from the Nazi Party for marrying a Jewish woman. His wife was later sent to a concentration camp. He was conscripted and killed on the Eastern Front. 1863, known as Whipped Peter, an escaped slave shows his carved back to Union Army doctors. 100,000 copies of this image were printed within weeks. Maria Mondel, arrested by U.S. troops, 1945. She was responsible for 500,000 women sent to gas chambers at Auschwitz. Indigenous children forced to pray in a residential school, run by the Canadian government and the Catholic Church, between 1930 and 1970. Location unknown. Dachau, April 29, 1945. The haunting look of an 18-year-old Russian girl after being liberated. Freedom and trauma in one expression. A female guard struck her across the face with a stick for not understanding German. The last photo before the Dyatlov Pass incident. 9 hikers would mysteriously die. To this day, no one knows exactly what happened. Hiroshima, the nuclear shadows. People vaporized, leaving only their silhouettes burned into stone. Halloween during the 1930s. Costumes that would terrify kids today. Keep watching, this gets even more unexpected. New York City, September 11, 2001. Survivors from the 87th floor of the World Trade Center North Tower, wandering in the dust after the collapse of the South Tower. 1907, a British sailor unshackling an enslaved man who had been chained for 3 years. Liberation captured.
Novaya Zemlya, test site, October 30, 1961. The explosion of the Tsar bomb, the most powerful bomb ever produced, detonated by the Soviet Union. 1971. Earthrise as seen by the crew of Apollo 15, humanity's home from above. November 22, 1963. Let them see what they've done to Jack. Jacqueline Kennedy. 1891. This tree was cut down at the grand age of 1,300 years. The circles within correlated with significant events throughout the tree's life. Keep watching, this gets darker. North Carolina, 1957. 15-year-old Dorothy Counts walks into an all-white high school while classmates scream insults behind her. Berlin, 1945. Allied soldiers mocking Hitler's famous balcony speeches after the fall of Berlin. Hiroshima, Japan, 1947. A doctor checking on a bombing survivor 2 years after the attack. Platte City, July 10, 1864. Jesse James photographed, the man behind the Robin Hood myth that fooled America for 140 years. February 1934, the Hoover Dam under construction, engineering on a massive scale. Pacific Theater, World War II, American Marines posing with a collection of Japanese skulls. Trophy taking was so widespread that by 1944, declaring bones at Hawaii Customs had become routine procedure. Berlin, Germany, 1946. A family takes a care package home. Aid in the aftermath. If this is hitting you, drop a like. Munich Olympic Village, 1972. A Palestinian terrorist appearing on a balcony where members of the Israeli team were being held hostage. 1862. Abraham Lincoln in George B. McClellan's tent after the Battle of Antietam. Seattle, 1918. A streetcar conductor not allowing passengers aboard without a mask during the Spanish flu pandemic. History repeating. Irkutsk Region, Siberia, 1989. Prisoners being transported to work from Zima Station. A stark moment from the final years of the Soviet Union. Photographed by German photojournalist Hans-Jürgen Burkhardt. Bavaria, 1945. A U.S. soldier inspecting piles of looted art and goods being stored in a church at the end of World War II. 1821. The death mask of Napoleon Bonaparte, French Emperor, the most authentic depiction of his features we possess. Still here? Subscribe. There's more coming. Philadelphia, 1902. Child labor strike. Children demanding better conditions. Ottawa, 1939. Unemployed men on strike in front of civic offices, demanding federal government relief during the Great Depression. West Virginia, 1960. John F. Kennedy campaigning door-to-door before his presidency began. Douaumont, France, 1964. A section of the ossuary containing the unidentified remains of over 130,000 soldiers killed at the Battle of Verdun from both sides of the conflict. 1941. A German war correspondent documents Operation Barbarossa from behind the cover of a knocked-out Soviet BT-5 light tank. Yakima Reservation, Washington, 1900. A Do Not Enter sign. Boundaries enforced. Chesterley Street, Durham, 1937. A coal miner's bath. The daily reality. Congo, 1890. The Congo state, controlled by Belgian settlers, allowed companies to operate freely, resulting in atrocities including amputation of hands as punishment for those who refused to collect rubber. Princess Diana with her bodyguard Trevor Rees-Jones and driver Henri Paul, shortly before the fatal crash, August 31, 1997. Cape Endayendere, New Guinea, December 18, 1942. A Japanese soldier wades into the sea with a grenade against his head, moments before it goes off, defying an Australian soldier calling him to surrender. What looks like a calm wave in 2004, this is the start of the Indian Ocean tsunami. Clowns photographed at an abandoned old folks' home, left behind. If this is hitting you, drop a like. It helps more than you think. A possibly shell-shocked soldier during World War I, the 1,000-yard stare. Belgium, circa 1900. Coal miners returning from the depths after a day's work, faces marked by exhaustion. A baseball team of prisoners, circa 1910. Their executions were delayed as long as they kept winning, playing for their lives. Florida, 1964. Hotel manager James Brock pours muriatic acid in the Monson Motor Lodge pool to evict black swimmers. Racism enforced with violence. John Libera, known as the double-bodied man, had his parasitic brother, Jacques Libera, connected to him from his chest-stomach area. Vietnam. A tunnel rat explores a hole between floors of a Viet Cong tunnel system. These changes in elevation were among the most dangerous situations. Late 1800s, a Chinese woman whose feet were bound from childhood, the result of foot binding. Magician Joe Burris is lowered into a grave in a casket, preparing to perform a stunt. Burris died after the casket collapsed under the weight of the concrete poured on top of it. Soviet Union, after April 26, 1986, acute radiation sickness. Photos taken in a specialized clinic following the Chernobyl disaster. The invisible enemy made visible. The modern remains of a kindergarten classroom after the Chernobyl disaster, frozen in time. Singapore, 1945. British POWs after their release from Japanese captivity. Survival documented. Still here? Subscribe. There's more coming. Kimberley, South Africa, October 1954. A De Beers mine worker is X-rayed at the end of his shift before leaving the diamond mines, a measure used to prevent theft of diamonds. Iraq, 2019. This X-ray reveals a tear gas canister fatally embedded in a protester's brain during anti-government protests. Deir el-Kamar, Lebanon, 1982. Child patients sit bound and tied to a radiator inside a psychiatric hospital. Treatment as punishment. Rougeville, Michigan Carbon Works Factory. A pile of bison skulls slated to be processed, used in making bone glue, fertilizer, bone ash, bone char, and bone charcoal. Before European settlers, 30 million buffalo roamed. By 1900, only 325 remained. West Virginia, 1908. A trapper boy 1 mile inside a mine. A photo taken shortly before a huge wave hit the shore during the devastating 2004 tsunami, seconds before disaster. 28-year-old Marcy Borders, a Bank of America employee at the World Trade Center North Tower, takes shelter in an adjacent office building following the collapse of the South Tower. A photo of Jeffrey Dahmer at high school with a fellow student before the world knew what he would become. A man with schizophrenia before and after his lobotomy, the cost of treatment. The last photo taken by Bill Biggert, the only journalist who lost his life covering 9/11. Unidentified, the picture is believed to have been taken by Rodney Alcala, serial killer offender. Investigators still don't know who this person is. Just like the Dyatlov Pass, some mysteries remain unsolved. Prague, former Czechoslovakia, 1937. File clerks working at their electric elevator desks. Innovation in the office. Sunday, March 7, 1965. Civil rights activist John Lewis holds his head during an attack. He and others had just crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. State troopers attacked their peaceful protest. 1948. Retired Professor George McLaurin became the first black student admitted to the University of Oklahoma. The school was segregated. McLaurin was kept strictly away from his white classmates. West San Francisco, California, circa 1935. A worker gazes over the first cables of the Golden Gate Bridge.